I have a really cool story. I'm excited to share this with you. I am with Miyoshi Brame here in Prescott Valley, and you're a veteran,
Yes.
Air Force?
Air Force veteran.
Yes. Uh, how many years did you serve?
6 years. My time was cut short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, kind of begin your story. You, if I remember correctly from what I was learning, you helped people qualify. You were training them and on how to qualify and stay fit. Now, let me get there. All right, kind of share what you were doing and all of that.
Yes. I was an instructor that included specialties in my career field, but also fitness, making sure that helping people get to the goals and keeping fit. I was in top health on flying status, which is something military folks will understand. Required to be in top health in order to do my job, controlling aircraft, munitions, and air battle management.
Wow. All right. And so at some point in time, what happened?
In 2011, before my deployment, I was given my third anthrax booster because I had been on antibiotics and prednisone, which they didn't consider at the time. I had a reaction to my anthrax vaccine, which is a live vaccine, causing me to have the symptoms of having been exposed to it. So it was non-lethal, thankfully. However, the major systems in my body were all attacked.
Did you still deploy?
I did still deploy. I started having symptoms within landing when I got there. Started really mild and increased while I was there and continued to increase after I even returned home from that deployment.
Wow. So how long were you over?
Oh gosh, I don't
Okay.
remember.
Yeah, but when you came home.
The whole time period was 3 months. The spin up, the in country, and then debrief to come home.
Yeah. So kind of tell the story as, so you're having this reaction to your anthrax vaccine. Mm-hmm. So what began happening?
I began having mild neurological symptoms at first. Then they started to present as similar to Parkinson's, early onset Parkinson's.
Wow.
And it progressed rapidly from there. I was diagnosed with MS, and they retracted that. They ruled out ALS after the first year, which I was very thankful for. But in the end, it turned out the final diagnosis was that the reaction to the anthrax vaccine or anthrax poisoning.
Wow. So what were they able to do or not do for you?
There was nothing they could do. Unfortunately, it was just treating all the symptoms. So while I was walking around every day with the symptoms of someone with MS, lupus, Parkinson's, all combined, multiple other autoimmune conditions, because that's the first thing it shuts down. We were just treating symptoms.
Wow. So your quality of life was?
It was horrible.
Horrible.
It was I have my faith, and I held on to my faith, and that got me through it. But overall quality of life was that of, at that time, I was not even 30 yet. And I was living the life of someone who was in their 60s.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine the emotional and psychological impact of that. Wow. Married at the time, and
I had 2 children, 2 young children. So it was very difficult. I managed to keep them from knowing about most of it, going to doctor's appointments and all the testing while they were in school. But they'd come home and they were of age to take frozen stuff out of the freezer and put it in the oven, which I was thankful for when I was struggling.
Wow. So was the military able to help you at all, or what happened? Where did things go from that?
They sent me all over the country trying to figure out what was wrong, what treatment options were available, because they can't discharge you without knowing what's wrong with you without a diagnosis. So eventually I was medically discharged, retired early. I was taken care of as far as all my health insurance and those things go, because I was one of the people, very few, that they could track from beginning to end. They saw me in top health, and they were very perplexed at the decline of my health so quickly.
Yeah.
So I've been in studies since then, actually, every so many years.
Since 2011. Wow. And so you ended up getting another vaccine at some point.
Yes, I did. I'm going to turn the sound off very quickly here.
And what happened, and when was that?
So I had gotten to a point in my life where everything was just kind of chugging along, got in a routine, dealing with, homemade health aids and things like that. I had a caregiver. In 2019, after the miraculous birth of our youngest child, I woke up one morning paralyzed.
Whoa.
The whole left side of my face, my ear, the hearing, my neck, my head, just this whole region. Went to the hospital, the ER, they ruled out a stroke, and they said, oh, you have Bell's palsy. That's really common. You're young, you'll bounce right back. Your nerve functions will come right back. And unfortunately, they never did. It wasn't until long later that a doctor was looking back at my records of when that happened that they noticed that I was tested at the hospital, and I had a positive test for Epstein-Barr, which was 2 weeks after having my flu shot.
And so that is what triggered all of that.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you deal with the paralysis?
After about a year, I began to get some movement back. I was able to blink my eye, lots of treatment to get to that point. Then we had a new surprise where I had finally got into a groove again, working through things, actually leaving the house. And then my left leg the muscle stopped responding.
Oh, no.
So then that muscle atrophied in my leg. I lost the ability to walk. Couldn't even wear shoes because I tried to drag my leg. In the early stages of that, we didn't know what was going on. And so I tore the labrum in my hip, both of them.
Oh, my.
So it became an extremely painful, scary process. And they thought for sure that I had MS because they had actually been testing me for it about every 2 years since I became ill, because my neurologist really felt like that's what it was. The timing wasn't right in the testing.
So you ended up in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
The left side of your face is paralyzed,
mm-hmm.
and you're not able to walk,
mm-hmm.
and you're dealing with all of these symptoms and issues going on in your body,
mm-hmm.
and they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and some days I would have some movement, better movement than others, because the inflammation from the Epstein-Barr virus would cause it to be worse. And so it'd move, and then all of a sudden it would just stop working. So I always had to, I just didn't know. You never knew what the day was going to look like.
So if I remember correctly, 2024,
mm-hmm.
you ended up doing a faith journey.
Yes.
To Florida, to a conference.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened there?
My life was forever changed on multiple fronts. I had the opportunity to receive stem cell therapy there. And from that, my life has been forever changed. I'm actually creating antibodies. I get fevers when I'm sick, like you're supposed to. My Epstein-Barr virus numbers are trending down.
Awesome.
They continue to trend down. I've gotten a quality of life back. I don't have assistive devices in my vehicle anymore. I drive, I go places, I'm at school events, I'm at church, I'm worshiping. It's amazing.
Yeah, so it's been an amazing year. You're a year out. Things keep progressing and moving forward. And so these regenerative cell factors have really reversed a lot of the damage that sounds like a couple of vaccines did to your body.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So would you recommend these regenerative cell factors?
Oh my goodness, yes. It's the best thing I've done in my life. I wouldn't question it for a moment. It's worth investing in yourself.
Absolutely.
Your health and your generations to come.
Absolutely. Well, I look forward, because I know that you're still on a journey. There's still some things that, because you had so much going on in your body. Mm-hmm. But with the good Lord's help, you have begun your journey, and I look forward to updating this video and watching as you continue to regenerate and regain your complete health.
Amen.
Amen.
I can't wait.
Me too. God bless.
God bless.